I'm Rick freaking Dalton, and don't you forget it. Hey guys, how you doing today? This is David Lucas here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to finally be reviewing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Directed by Quentin Tarantino. This is Quentin Tarantino's 9th film on his supposedly 10 film streak that he's only doing. And starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie. This has been a film that's really been anticipated for me. I actually said this film was really one of my anticipated movies back in one of my old videos. One of my first videos I actually did. I did a most anticipated movies for 2019, and it's finally time to hear. It took me a while to see it. A couple of stuff got in the way, so I couldn't really see it in time, but I finally got to see it, and let me say, it was well worth the wait. I love this movie, and it's probably my favorite movie all year, in my opinion. It is probably my favorite movie all year. Before this movie is starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton and Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth. Also, before I forget, Margot Robbie as the late Sharon Tate. Now, this is a story about an actor named Rick Dalton and his stunt double Cliff Booth. Is basically trying to get their way out through Hollywood, working their way around through Hollywood. They have a lot of starring roles. We see a whole bunch of films and TV shows from way back in the day, old westerns that they would be starring in. And it was a really, really love letter to true film fans. And I feel like film fans who just love film are really gonna get a kick out of this movie. That's what this movie is made for almost. I feel like even though regular moviegoers would still love this movie, I feel like the movie big cinema fans are going to be the only ones that really truly understand this film. And it is such a great film. And it's really it's a nice fresh of breath air to me, because lately we've been having a whole bunch of comic book type movies with world ending plots and superheroes and all this. This is a nice, fresh of breath air, or just about a director's imagination and just their vision. And I gotta say, it did not disappoint at all. Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite film directors ever, and I was really looking forward to this movie, and it really did not disappoint. It's probably my third favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, I think, out of all of his movies. It goes Inglourious Basterds, Pulp Fiction, and now Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. One of the things that I really love about this movie is that Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth, they're basically different people. Like, Rick Dalton's more narcissistic, kind of emotional, nervous wreck all the time. And yeah, Cliff Booth, who's really chilled out, very content, I realize. He's very confident in himself, and I love how he's so content with his life. He's so content being his Rick Dalton's stunt double. He's content just going out, doing his day-to-day business. He helps out Rick with his house duties. He was fixing a satellite, I think, or some kind of wire on his roof, and he's just completely fine with it. And I love the chemistry that they kind of play off each other. There's never once where there's a conflicted between them, or once where it feels like they aren't friends at all. They feel like true good friends throughout this whole entire movie, and I love that they do that. I really appreciate that they did that through this movie and didn't give us some kind of side plot with them fighting or arguing or not liking each other. They're pretty content with their lives, both of them seem to be, and I really like how they just seem like good buddies throughout the whole movie. I love the scenes with them drinking together and hanging out and just having a good time together, and how Cliff Booth always looks at Rick and goes, "Hey, you're Rick fucking Dalton, and don't you forget it." I love that. They have such good chemistry together, and I heard some people say that they felt like these characters didn't really have much characterizations of them as one of Quentin Tarantino's weak versions of characters, but I have to disagree with that 100%. I think Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton are one of my favorite characters in a Quentin Tarantino movie, maybe in a film in general. I love these two guys. They're maybe just because they remind me of me and my friends, but I think they're awesome, and I feel like the chemistry is great between them. I feel like they're written really well. I feel like they do have good character building with them. With Cliff Booth, you think he's a good guy. He is a good guy. He's a really confident, good guy, but he might have a dirty past. He might have a bad past to him, and they kind of tease that a little bit. They don't really show us it, but they tease it a little bit that he might have some kind of dirty past. Now, I know I heard some conflicted stuff going on about a certain scene in the movie, and I do understand where people are coming from. Brad Pitt did basically beat the shit out of a woman, and I see where people are coming from when they can be mad. But at the same time, it's kind of like she had it coming to them. I mean, they did break into his house and were trying to murder them. I'm not going to spoiler who they are, or what they're doing, but he had, I think, every right to do what he did. And that, by the way, the ending to this movie is amazing. I love this ending. It's how smiling ear to ear. It reminded me of when I watched the ending to Inglourious Basterds. It just made me smile ear from ear. I was laughing so hard I was sweating. And even crying a little bit too, because it was just so hilarious to me. The entire thing with the ending, even up to the very, very end. And I love how it ended too. I love how we got that little Quentin Tarantino twist, how he usually does, how he puts his spin on a real life event, like Inglourious Basterds. This reminds me a lot of Inglourious Basterds. I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because how much I loved Inglourious Basterds, and then now we got this, and I love this a lot. I'm really glad that I waited for this, and it was really well worth the wait. If you haven't seen this movie yet, I highly recommend go seeing this movie. Even if you're not a big of a film fan, if you're just looking for some movie to go to the movies to watch, go watch this movie. You'll find enjoyment with this movie no matter what. I will say, maybe like in the middle, it does get a little slow, and you're gonna really recognize that. A lot of people are gonna recognize in the middle, it gets really slow. And it does suck. It does wear the movie down, I do admit. But I feel like after it gets off this little hump that it's on, it kicks right back into gear, and you're just in for a ride. And that's what this movie is. And you're in for a ride. You're in for a good story, a nice breath of fresh air of just a good old-fashioned storytelling in a movie. And that's what I expected. That's what I wanted out of this film. And that's what I got. So that's basically my review for Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm going to have to give it... This is probably the first time I'm going to give this all year. Maybe the only time I'm going to give this all year. But I'm going to give this a 9.8 out of 10. 9.8 out of 10. This is just so close to being a 10 out of 10 movie. You know, it just didn't have a little hump in the middle. Did. Oh, and something else too that I want to actually, before I end this, I just remembered this, before I end this review, I want to say another thing too that I felt was a little wrong about this movie that makes it go down to the 9.8 instead of 9.9 or something like that, is that I felt like with the character of Sharon Tate, Margot Robbie, even though she played the role really great, and she did everything really good, I loved her interpretation of Sharon Tate, I do feel the movie could have dealt without her. If she wasn't in the movie would have been just as good, maybe even a little better, who knows. But nothing against her performance. I thought her performance was great. I just kind of felt like she was a little shoehorned in just to showcase the Manson murders. But I think besides those two things, I think anyone's going to enjoy this movie. And I highly recommend anyone go seeing this movie. Thank you again for watching this review. I will be posting again very shortly. And if you like this review and you want to see other reviews, you can check out other videos I have on my channel. I have other reviews. I have 2 short films even some friends made. Not really anything special, but they're pretty good little short films that we made. If you like, you go check it out. I really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe and like this and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Thank you guys for watching and have a good day.